This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories. And welcome to a review of The Boys Season 4, Episode 8, initially titled Assassination Run, but was renamed The Boys Season 4 Finale. And honestly, because that's a mouthful, and it just doesn't sound as good as in a title, I will be going with their original name. I do understand why they changed it, with the extremely poor timing of the attempted assassination of former President Trump this past weekend. I can understand why they would change it, and I'm honestly fine naming it the original thing. Obviously, this is a fictional show, and they are not endorsing people to go and kill any politician they have a problem with. So, explaining why I left the original name of the episode in this, let's go into my review of this completely insane and truly incredible episode, which honestly was easily the best episode of the show so far. It's crazy how much stuff happened in this. All the characters are at the top of their game, and I genuinely have been waiting all day. And I watched this episode at like 5:40 in the morning, and I'm now recording it at just past 3:15. I've been waiting all day to talk about this. I haven't been able to talk to really anyone about it because the two people that I do talk about it to at work, one of them was transferred and the other one was off today. So I've been waiting to talk about this. It was truly amazing, as I said. So let's go into the details. As in previous weeks, instead of looking at the episode through what happened about chronologically, I'm going to look at it based on characters, since that is just a lot easier to do and make sure I don't miss anything. Starting off, easily the weakest, but still great part about the show was Frenchie and Kamiko finally having a relationship together. And this was due to the fact that they both did love each other, but Kamiko thought that she wasn't worthy to be with Frenchie, and that's because of everything she did in her past. But Huey's entire speech about being better and having to forgive people was honestly really great. And just going to that entire speech, that truly shows that they see that everything trying to kill a politician is wrong, and if there is a better solution, that they should. But in that specific scenario, if they were going to have a puppet put in charge to essentially do what happened in Germany in World War II, in the Soviet Union, and so many other places. Honestly, that might be the one time that it is appropriate to go and for a leader to be taken out, because they're just saving so many people in the future. And obviously, some people will say that the politician they don't like is going to be like that, but there's honestly no way to know for definitive proof in the real world. While this is fiction and it's a very clear bad guy situation, they know Newman is a bad person and is making these plans, but honestly, in the real world, there is essentially no way to do that, and if there is, they would probably be able to get up actual proof, because there isn't going to be all this fictional stuff making up different plots for why they can't do it and the person having like, leverage or powers to take them out. So honestly, going into just the other characters, next one who didn't have too much happen was Mother's Milk. He was more just there having to take over the leadership position after Butcher was in the hospital for the last few weeks. And even though he gave it up last episode, he is back at being the leader in this one because after Butcher, he is the next best person to lead them. Now going to think about the great storylines in this. We have just one last one to look at, and that is everything with the Deep and Black Noir and the other members of the Seven, with them going and assassinating members of Vought, anyone that could have problems with them. And honestly, that was just a great storyline. It was extraordinarily intimidating, and honestly, when Deep had that person compliment him and then murdered him, it was really dark. When they were talking about murdering Ashley, that was honestly insane. And when she takes the V, I wonder what happened to her since we don't see anything from her after she takes the V and everyone's looking for her. Although the other Ashley is killed, and honestly, that is a shame for her, but it was just so crazy with this episode, everything that happened. I really, really had so much fun with that. But now it's time to move into the big boys, the honestly craziest parts of it. And I'm going to talk about this based on enjoyment. First is Huey and Starlight. And while they're probably the emotional core of this episode, and Huey's speech is honestly just really great, it isn't on the level of Luthen Rails from Andor, but it still is honestly incredible and is really well done. Jack Quaid did such a great job in that scene, and I really think he was incredible. I think that everything with him was just really great in this episode. Him figuring out that Annie was replaced by the shapeshifter was a great moment, and the entire escape with the president was just really insane. And then going on to Starlight herself, her escape was great. Her admitting she doesn't really know who she is was also really good. And then it gets just even better with her going and fighting the shapeshifter, taking either him or her out. We don't actually know what the initial gender of the shapeshifter is, although it seems likely to be female. Although I think the first person we saw was male, so honestly could be either, but doesn't matter too much since the shapeshifter is dead. And honestly, it was just genuinely crazy to see that fight. It was super awesome. Although I think it was pretty predictable that Starlight was going to be used to assassinate the president. Honestly, I think that it was just really awesome. Now going and looking at the next character, everything with Newman was truly incredible in this episode. Her freaking out with her secret being exposed was honestly great. Her realizing just how bad everything is, and just her complete breakdown when she calls Huey for help. That was honestly just really well done. I loved her in this, and her wanting just to make things better for her daughter so she doesn't have to grow up and be raised the way that she was, which sadly she gets put on the exact same path after Butcher kills her. I'll get to that later, but everything with Newman in this was incredible. Honestly, I said I love her breakdown and her willing to turn against everything, do the right thing to protect her daughter was honestly just incredible. I really, really love that. But now it's time to go into the best parts of this episode, and that is Homelander and Butcher. Honestly, both are great, and I think with everything Homelander did and tying into the end is gonna be what I'm gonna say for last. And I may have enjoyed the Butcher stuff just a little bit more, and everything with Butcher and Ryan this episode was incredible. You think he's finally getting to him, and then Mallory jumps the gun and starts using this situation to tell Ryan everything about his father, pushing him away unintentionally and convincing him to go back to his father. But this devastates Butcher and pushes him to give in to his dark impulses and want to go on soup genocide. Honestly, it was just completely insane. I think that everything done with Butcher in this episode was really well done, and it really well justifies everything that happened. I seriously cannot believe that they just went this intense with him. It seemed like he was on a redemption arc, and they obviously needed a way for him to be in the next season. So they had him just go full on dark mode. He gave into his darkness and allowed the dark cancer to take him over. Now he, instead of dying from it, is seeming to weaponize it to use to kill other soups, and through that he's going to commit soup genocide to ultimately take down Homelander and possibly Ryan. Although I think that by the end of the show, Ryan's going to help take down his father, and Butcher will eventually repent because honestly, it was really great with him. That moment where he's saying goodbye to Huey was honestly really nice. And then he goes and ruins everything for them by killing Newman, who was going to help them take down Vought the right way. They nearly had a win here, but sadly, Butcher went and sabotaged everything, and that leads to everything with Homelander. Homelander is genuinely terrifying once again in this episode. Anthony Starr deserves an award for his performance this season. He genuinely played an incredible psychopath. He was honestly terrifying, and he did such a great job in this show. He is honestly the best part of it. The acting is incredible, and just going through everything, I really can't believe just how well he was done in this. It was honestly just completely insane to see everything he did. First, having a list of basically everyone that he has to take down. That's talking with Newman, where she says that he's gonna have to take out half the country. He's like, "Did you think I haven't thought of that?" That was that was honestly just a great, dark and chilling scene. Looking at just everything he does throughout this episode, him being pushed further and further, and him thinking he failed until Sage comes at the end and shows she is still loyal to him by having the Speaker of the House, someone that's fully under her control, be put into office after she leaks the audio where Singer says he wanted the boys to kill Newman and uses that to implicate him in the assassination that Butcher does of Newman. And although it's obviously a lie for that specific scenario, the boys were ordered by the president to, well, at least the president elect at the time, who became the president, to go and assassinate his vice president. And honestly, I love that twist. Although it feels like it comes out of nowhere, it makes so much sense with her plan. She had a backup plan for this. She even points out how it's a good thing that Newman isn't in power because she'd been too hard to control. And then we have just this completely, nearly silent, besides honestly Kamiko, which was amazing to have her speak for the first time, yelling no as Frenchie is taken away. But besides that, I think the scene was almost completely silent besides the music, and we see the boys splitting up, going on the run to hide, and we then see the forces of Vought working with the government and military, taking down the boys, capturing everyone besides at least Starlight and Butcher, and maybe Kamiko. It wasn't super clear if she escaped because she was just being held back by Sam from Gen V as Kate led Frenchie into a prison car. And I'm assuming the first episode of next season will be a team up of Starlight, A Train, and maybe Kamiko if she does escape, going to go and save the rest of the boys from prison and possible execution. I think next season's going to see two conflicting storylines of members of the boys. Maybe some of them will join Butcher and his attempt to commit soup genocide, but I don't think they will. I think they're all going to be working against him, and Butcher's going to become the secondary antagonist of next season. But honestly, I'm going to go more into that in a video on Saturday. There's no way I'm having enough time to record the Insomniac Spider-Man video, and I do want to talk about what I think is going to happen next season, based kind of off of the predictions from the comics that I've read, and see what's going to happen during the last season. One thing I almost forgot to mention is I'm excited to see what they do with Soldier Boy next season. The new president goes and brings Homelander to where Soldier Boy is imprisoned. I feel like he's going to be at least having one episode in next season. He's such a popular character, and people are demanding for him to be back, so I think they will listen to the fans for that. But yeah, I'm not really sure what they're going to do. I'm really excited to see, though. And honestly, I want to know what you think. So please let me know in the comments. And I'll see you on the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.